How is it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got some more goodies for the FRS. We're going to be upgrading the brake system. Ever since I started tracking this car, I've just been running some Hawk HP Plus pads. Not the best, could be worse. I do get some brake fade by the end of this session, but that's to be expected with these pads. However, we are going to be replacing the stock brake system with a Stoptech C43 big brake kit. That is not only going to give us more stopping power, it's also better for brake fade resistance, and it's going to shed some weight as well. I've already got the kit installed on the driver's side, so we're going to jump over to the passenger side, and I'm going to walk you through that process and finish things up. The first thing we're going to do is remove the 12mm bolt that's holding the brake line to the coilover. Now we can start disconnecting the brake line. I'm going to wrap some paper towels around here because brake fluid is corrosive, so you don't really want to get it on your paint. If you do, you want to clean it off as soon as you can. But the most important thing here is you want to use a 10mm flare wrench. You don't want to use just a regular wrench because you're going to increase the chances of rounding off this nut here. So make sure, again, you're using a flare wrench. Once you have that nut loosened, I'm going to pry this retaining clip off with a flathead and some pliers. You should be able to pull these stock ones off with just needle-nose pliers, but these happen to be really reluctant. So I'm going to continue to loosen that nut. Some fluid is going to start coming out. Again, you want to just make sure you've got a rag or paper towels to catch it. Once you have it disconnected, I'm going to aim that straight down. Also, make sure you got like a drip pan down below. There is a little plastic, or not plastic, rubber plug that is supplied for you to put onto the end of the brake line here. That way you can stop it from continuing to drip everywhere. If I can get it on to the end here. Come on. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna wipe off all that fluid that came out, and I'm gonna grab some brake cleaner and spray that down. With the brake line disconnected, we can move on to the two 17mm bolts that are holding the caliper in place. Once we have those two removed, we can slide the caliper off. There we go. The rotor should come off easily now. If it doesn't, you can use a rubber mallet, or there should be two holes that are threaded that you can thread a bolt into to press the rotor out if it's stuck. Before we install anything, I'm going to jump over to a scale to weigh everything and see how much of a weight difference there is. So the stock rotor weighs in at about 16.6 pounds. Two-piece Stoptech rotor, 13.3 pounds. So a little over 3 pounds of weight savings there. We've got the stock caliper with the pads removed, 12.3 pounds. And then we have the Stoptech C43 caliper coming in at 5.35 pounds. So more than a 50% weight savings just from the caliper alone. Taking a peek at the pads that were on the car, I barely have any pad material left from the Gingerman event. So these were definitely due for an upgrade. We're gonna install the caliper mounting bracket with the OEM hardware. And we're going to torque these down to 59 foot-pounds. Before we can install the new rotors, Stoptech specifically says that we need to wash them with soap and water and then spray them down with brake clean. Now, normally I would just spray down rotors with brake clean, but since they specifically mention that you need to wash them off with soap and water, that is what we're going to do. Okay, so now we can spray them down with brake clean. The rotor is all clean, so that can slide right into place. And we'll secure that with one of the lug nuts. And then we can start installing the new caliper. The calipers slide right into place. And then we can install the nuts, or the washers and the nuts. And we're gonna torque these down to 30 foot-pounds. The caliper is installed, so now we can move on to the brake line. There's a little plug here that I need to pull out. Got the banjo bolt and 2 copper washers. And this just threads into that hole. I should probably look. There we go. And this just needs to be torqued down to 14 foot-pounds. It says not to use a torque wrench, so just hand tighten. Doesn't need to be super tight. 14 foot-pounds is not much at all, and you definitely do not want to strip the threads out of the caliper because that would just absolutely ruin your day. Go ahead and reinstall the 12mm bolt that holds the line to the strut or coilover. We're gonna put some more rags or towels in this area before we reconnect the line. Stick that line up in there. We're gonna remove this plug. And then tighten down the bolt or nut. Again, just make sure you are using a flare wrench. This is the same thing as the banjo bolt. Doesn't need to be super tight. Just want it snug. And wipe down this area. We're gonna install the new retaining clip. And then we'll spray it down with brake clean. To install the pads, I just need to remove the 10mm nut on the end of this bolt here. You can slide this out. This piece slides out. Then the pads slide right into place. Makes for super easy pad changes. Then we just reinstall these. And tighten that nut down. And that is pretty much it for pad changes. Everything is essentially installed. I'm just waiting on Quinn to come help me bleed the brakes, and then tomorrow morning I'm gonna go out and bed in the brake pads to make sure everything is good for the track this weekend. That does it for this video, guys. If you want to pick up this kit for yourself, the link is down in the description. If you guys have any questions or any suggestions on what you'd like to see installed next or any events that you'd like to see me attend, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm open to any suggestions you've got. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.